Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video talking to you about good guns to get someone into shooting. So for that reason, I have my beautiful girlfriend here to help me talk to you about that, because this is the process we're going through with her right now, getting her into shooting. You haven't done really much shooting before,
No.
but obviously she knows that it's something that's a big aspect of my life, and so she's been kind enough to kind of put up with that. And today especially, but kind of over the last while, we've been introducing her to shooting using two guns in particular, and that's why I wanted to talk about these two guns as good guns to get someone new into shooting and kind of get them excited or want to go out shooting. So those two guns, there's wiggle room in the specific models, but just generally speaking, we're talking about any 22 handgun and any 22 long rifle. It's really a good way to ease someone into it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen videos of guys handing their girlfriend like a 12 gauge shotgun with a 3-inch Magnum shell or something stupid like that, or they'll give them like a 357 snub nose revolver, and the girl, or like a scoped rifle, and they see them put their eye right up against it, and they pirate themselves, and the whole time the boyfriend's behind the camera laughing his ass off, and meanwhile their significant other is now totally scarred from that experience. They never want to go shooting again. It's a terrible experience, and it's not doing anyone any favors. On the counter end of that, when you're introducing someone to shooting using a 22 long rifle, you're really taking out a lot of those intimidating factors, i.e. noise and recoil. So, I mean, even specifically today, we were shooting the Ruger 2245 and the Ruger 1022. And we were using a silencer with subsonic ammo.
Yeah,
so even more, even as quiet as 22 long rifle is, we're cutting even more of that noise out of the factor. And again, we're dealing with very, very little recoil. So from your point of view, what was your experience like the first time we ever went shooting with that 2245?
It was pretty exciting.
Were you nervous at all?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, it's like my first time,
Right.
and not having the knowledge of like the terminology or even the right hand positions can really make a difference. And having that, I don't know, having you there coach me was easier, and then getting the perspective of not focusing so much on getting your target to get hit, but more on your squeeze and your breathing, and just being really consistent by those steps helped it be easier on my focus points. So I really enjoyed that.
Do you think it would have been harder for you to get used to it, just shooting in general, if I gave you a loud, hard recoiling gun first?
Yeah, because I'm not well familiar with guns. It hasn't been a consistent thing in my life, more of like in the background. And so getting the perspective and a slow start to ease myself into it. I'm a smaller person. I'm a very anxious person. So I normally would take a step back on something like that. And plus having something louder is a little nerve-wracking for me.
A little bit more intimidating.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that when you're getting someone new into shooting, taking out as many possible intimidation factors is going to go a long way in making them comfortable with it and also getting them interested in it. I mean, after our first outing with that 2245, did you want to go shooting again?
Yeah, I definitely wanted more. Taking those step by steps and your safety and everything, and again the consistency with like your breathing and just the slow, steady squeezes. Starting to get there's a bug right in my face. But actually seeing the results as we were doing it step by step, it started to show very quickly, and it made me want more. And I became more confident in what I was doing because it was consistent. And it wasn't as intimidating. I realized I had more control of the gun itself than it controlling me. So that made me feel like I can really do something like this. I want to get more into it. Obviously, I'm going to be gradual into it because I don't have...
We're not in any hurry. We're taking our time.
Yeah, we're not.
Easy
just have fun with it. Yeah, definitely.
And just, as a quick aside, because I know she's probably too modest to mention it herself, but as part of, getting her into shooting, we did a lot of dry practice before even doing any live fire shooting. So you'd already kind of learned some of the fundamentals of sight alignment, sight picture, and all that. And her very first shot with the 2245 was dead center in the target. And I'll try to find the picture of it and I'll roll that in. Because, again, it's a good way to get someone to introduce you shooting when You give them those fundamentals, you give them those building blocks first, and you set them up for success.
Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
so we've talked about the handgun. Again, any .22 handgun, specifically we're using a .22-45, which has been malfunctioning a lot, and that's kind of taken away some of the experience.
Right.
But a good, reliable .22 handgun is a great place to start for handguns. Today was your first time shooting the Ruger 1022 rifle.
Right. You know, it's funny.
I don't know, did you have any anxiety leading up to trying that for the first time?
Well, first I want to finish up on the handgun part.
Okay.
And that is, my hands are really small. And so we always made sure that I had a good grip and that I could pull the trigger. That was something that was really hard. So going into it continuously with new guns, that was always something I'm nervous about. So using the shotgun today, that was something, the rifle, sorry. That was something I was actually nervous about. But once I got into it, obviously there was no rounds in it. It was on safe, and I just got myself in a position that was more comfortable. And going from there, it was pretty smooth, pretty easy, wasn't loud, very easy pull. Yeah, I don't know. I was anxious because I don't use big guns. But yeah.
But do you think that after you shot it for the first time, you didn't have that loud noise, you didn't have any recoil, did that make you more comfortable and wanting to shoot more?
Oh yeah, definitely. Since it wasn't as loud, I noticed that I wasn't blinking and closing my eyes after releasing. That was my biggest problem with anything loud. So to do that and not be hesitant and want more, that was exciting for me. It was definitely more motivating to continue without being intimidated by the loud noise.
Now, do you think that with more outings with that 1022, you'd want to try moving up to something like a, intermediate rifle, like a 223, like an AR-15?
I would say yes, but I would say a little bit. Yeah, give it time because I'm really enjoying it now. And I definitely want to keep doing it now. So I feel like once I get more confident in that, then yeah, I would definitely want to move on to the next one. But it's an opportunity I'll take advantage of for sure in the future, but not this second. Yeah.
And I mean, again, we have a lot of things working in our favor. We have, a heavily modified 1022 with a nice barrel, a very nice trigger. We're shooting it silenced with subsonic ammo, which I know is not an option for everyone right now. But all those things kind of work together to give a very positive experience. Because I mean, your very first time shooting that 1022. I'll roll in a picture of it. 10 rounds with some Fiocchi subsonic ammo at 50 yards. And we had 2 flyers, but other than that, 8 rounds and like 3/4 of an inch. So again, dry practice pays off big time when you actually start doing live fire. But then again, having those good accuracy results from an unintimidating gun probably goes a long way in building your confidence and wanting to do it more, right?
Yeah, it really does. And having your guidance did help, having someone with that knowledge, but also just having you tell me to take a step back, stop going as fast, focus more on what needs to be done or executed first, and everything will gradually fall into place. And that's why I'm excited about it, because it did. Obviously, the results showed from the good leadership. So yeah.
Well, and I don't want this to sound too self-congratulatory, like I'm hurting my arm, patting myself on the back too much. But really what I wanted to do with this video is give my opinion on how to introduce someone into shooting, and then using Stephanie as an example of someone who I've been kind of guiding down that path, and really give a contrast to what I've seen other people doing in the future. When you're trying to get someone into shooting, like if you're like me and shooting is a major aspect of your life, it's a big hobby, something you really enjoy doing, and you want to get your significant other into it, you really got to make them have positive experiences along the way. Otherwise, it's just totally going to turn them off to it. Again, give them those building blocks. Teach them the fundamentals with dry practice first before you put a live gun in their hands, so that they feel like, okay, they're not having to learn everything all at once. You're really kind of giving them that foundation, giving them the building blocks, building their confidence slowly before even putting a live firearm in their hands. And then when you do put a live firearm in their hands, having it something like a 22 where there's hardly any noise or recoil is really going to go a long way. And again, building that comfort level, building that confidence, and giving a more pleasurable experience. Because I can guarantee right now, if I had given her a 3-inch Magnum 12-gauge shotgun as her first shot and it put her on her ass the first time she pulled the trigger, You probably wouldn't want to do it again, right?
I don't think I would do it again, but I also wouldn't trust you because you didn't listen to what I told you I'm nervous or anxious about or even comfortable with, and the fact that you totally just went out of your laughter for that would upset me, and it would make me not confident in trusting you further with guns at all. So,
is there anything else you want to share about your kind of entry into this, or have we covered pretty much everything?
I would just say if you're a beginner, just be very like clear and vocal as much as you can on what you're comfortable with. So if it's your hands, like you're just not grabbing it, you're not gripping it right, or you just can't see exactly what it is that they're pointing out to you on the sights or whatever it is, just speak up to that, and then they'll eventually listen to you, I mean, consistently, and they'll apply that. And plus, they started from the bottom as well of not having as much knowledge, so they understand. And as a beginner, I don't have the right terminology to understand or to explain things well, but to have him listen to me and then apply that to where he once started, and then put it in a better term for me to understand made it better. And again, just as me, I'm little and I'm anxious, and I love animals and everything nice, and so loud sounds are intimidating to me. So to have someone understand that would actually put me off, and it would put me further away from wanting to share his passion. He really understood that for me, and it made me more confident and constantly with knowledge and stuff, or every time he learns something from a mistake, he'll share that knowledge with me, and so it makes me more excited on using it and applying it. And then again, just body position, surroundings too, for a good example. I think maybe like one of the first few times we went out, I think the very first time it was with one of my friends, actually two of my friends, and it was in an open public area. And that was fun. It was absolutely awesome. I just didn't shoot. I don't have confidence in multiple people around me if I do not know them. Because it was a public, I don't know how they're going to, take my safety and concern or anything. So when I'm in a setting that's uncomfortable, I refuse to proceed, but I'll stand back and learn and watch. So if in that moment you're not comfortable, it's okay. Put it down. Don't worry about it. Try again next time. And he did that with me. So the actual very first time I went shooting with him, it was quiet. It was us. Good timing. And I was able to get everything I needed out of that. And I was able to hear everything he was giving to me. Yeah. So that made a big difference, too.
Yeah. Electronic hearing protection will go a long way. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, so again, just to kind of recap, if you're going to get someone into shooting, 22 long rifle is an excellent cartridge to do that. Again, getting a 22 long rifle handgun, like the Ruger 2245. There's a bunch of other really good ones out there. Smith & Wesson, I can't remember. They have like a M&P 22. I've heard really good things about those also. And then a 22 long rifle. So a Ruger 1022 is what I have, and so what we've been using. But again, there's other good options out there too. Again, Smith & Wesson, their M&P 1522, which is their AR-15 in 22 long rifle. That's even better, especially if you want to build someone up to where they're shooting an AR-15 eventually. Getting them used to that manual of arms and operation and all that on a 22 long rifle version is, again, going to go a long way to build their confidence and set them up for success. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you have any recommendations for other good entry-level guns, go ahead and put those in the comment section down below, just so people, if they're looking to buy a gun for a significant other they're trying to get into, or even if they're just trying to get into it themselves, they can see some more other recommendations, because again, I'm just referencing the ones that I have or am familiar with.
Right.
If you want to see more of her shooting the 2245 or the 1022, I'll have more of that when I do the silencer review that we were shooting today, and then also shooting the trigger with the full quartz and trigger in that 1022. But I would like to thank Stephanie for being a trooper. She hates being on camera, but I drug her out here for this one so we could get her experience. But anyway, actually, before I close out, I want to say, if you are the kind of person who hands your girlfriend a Magnum shotgun or a snub-nose Magnum revolver for their first time ever shooting and give them zero guidance whatsoever, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And with that said, as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching. Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.